Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant, and today I'm going to show you Gley's farming build. This will work on both Ultimate Gley and regular Gley, so depending on what you have, you can use this. However, I highly recommend investing in the Ultimate over the regular because quite frankly, you're going to have to put an energy activator in both if you want to use either, so I always recommend investing in the Ultimate because ultimately, the Ultimate will have slightly better stats and access to future Transcendent modules that the normal version may not have, okay? Alright, glad we started that. Let's get into this, but before we get into it, alright, before I show you what's up, please, if you haven't already registered me as your content creator, make sure to do so. Link is in the video description, and if you've already registered me more than a month and a half ago, you might need to extend your support because support only lasts for 2 months. If after these 2 months you feel that I'm not for you, that's okay, I understand. Now, let's get started, shall we? Okay, excuse me, after lunch cough, but anyway, for Gley, all right, for Gley's massive Sanguification build, what you probably want to do is, why is this reactor not upgraded? I'll have to do that. A gold reactor is best because you will not really use your guns much with this build, so the gun is more just to trigger the skill power that you need. Skill effect range is pretty useful here. Okay, and you probably want non-attribute skill power boost if you can get it. But this one so happened to roll with additional skill attack on Colossus, but I've been using this for quite a while because 160% skill power is pretty good. Just remember that you cannot change your gun. If you want to use it to farm other guns, then you're going to need a purple reactor, which may not have the exact skills you need, but although this will have less skill power, the good thing is that you will be able to level other guns with it. All right, so for this demonstration, we'll be using a gold reactor. I will go upgrade it after this. In terms of your external components, okay, let me just remove my camera as we go through this one because this one's pretty crucial. I'm using the Annihilation Set from the Devourer. The Annihilation Set gives you additional skill duration, and the force set effect is that your firearm attack will increase proportionally to the ratio of max hit points lost up to 26%. When your hit points are 50% or lower, MP recovery drops, but your HP recovery increases for 10 seconds. So this is actually pretty useful because when your hit points drop below 50%, you can quickly get your hit points back by turning off Frenzy, using your massive Sanguification, heal up, and then get back to blasting everybody. All right? So this is why I use the Annihilation Set. It's also very useful for your gun build, obviously. But if you don't want to use the Annihilation Set, then you can use a normal set. Once again, the roles for this kind of thing would be for your auxiliary support power, if you're using a normal set, HP and HP, pretty standard. Your third role can be anything. Gley doesn't use MP, so it doesn't really matter. For your sensor, you will want a max MP and HP recovery modifier role. All right, this is the sorry, not max MP. You want a HP recovery modifier and whatever other role you want. So I could use this sensor or I could use this one, but this one had the higher HP recovery modifier. I still don't have a perfect sensor, but maybe in future, yeah? For your memory, okay? Excuse me. You will need a defense role, and then you can have your gold drop rate or anything else that you want. You don't need an MP recovery modifier, obviously. So for the memories, I usually just use either like firearm proficiency gain if I need it or things like that. But for the most part, all you really want is defense and then whatever else you can get on your Annihilation Set. For your processor, okay, you will probably want something that has, you know, like item acquisition distance and things like that because you don't need any of the shield related stuff. Neither shield recovery modifier or any of that. Equipment drop rate, you can go with anything on the processor because I don't think the processor has any Gley specific roles. Keep in mind that Gley has no MP and no shield. All right. So if you're going to play Gley, there is no MP and there's no shield, and therefore a lot of these roles are useless. So I just go for whatever I need. So here I've got equipment drop rate modifier. I'm happy enough with that. I left it be. All right. But if you are ultimately searching for perfect roles, you might choose something else. I don't know. Honest to God, this is what dropped for me, and this is all I've been using. So that covers the reactor and the external components. Now, for your weapons, please choose the specific builds that I've already shown on my channel. The only thing I would say is different is that if you are going for gun Gley in the future, you might want to choose something that has sharp precision shot, because Gley doesn't really require the firing fiesta. All right, so just take note of that. With Secret Garden, I'm basically using the same Secret Garden build, just haven't changed it from yesterday. Phew, almost forgot to do that. Yesterday's video covered something like this, so you'll notice I'm using the same old stuff on the Secret Garden. All right, okay, now for your Descendant modules, this is where the meat of this video is. How do you actually turn Gley into a farmer? And how do you actually level up with Gley? Okay, well, first you're going to need to slam in an energy activator and all the rest. As you guys should know, module capacity increases to 85 if you put a catalyst slot into your sub-attack slot here. And this is how mid-air maneuvering gives me 15 points in total. Energy activator is plus 20, so it goes from 50 up to 85. All right, 15 plus 20 plus 50. Okay, now that you know that, camera gone, let's explain this build. For Gley, the first and most important thing about massive sanguification is that you have to realize that it changes your second ability. Okay, under normal circumstances, your second ability is called Life Siphon. It will cost you 3 power of life, and you will be able to siphon health from enemies. Excuse me. You'll be able to siphon health from enemies within a 13.9 meter radius. All right, and you will recover health based on the number of targets siphoned. If you were in frenzied state, the damage of the skill is increased by how much HP is consumed, as well as the base damage having an increase in the frenzy state. All right, but when you're non-frenzied, you will receive instead, you will still deal damage in a non-frenzy state, but what will happen is that you receive a damage decrease modifier of 2%. It'll last for about 11 seconds, and you can have a max stack of 10% of 10 stacks. So sorry, it's 2% per stack, so you can go up to 20% damage reduction. Now, when you put on massive sanguification, this skill changes. Oops, wrong one. Massive sanguification, saved. Once you change the second skill, the cooldown stays the same, but instead of costing you power of life, massive sanguification basically will cost you max hit points instead, so you can cast it anytime. Now, the skill description is that when in a frenzied state, you deal damage to enemies within range, with damage increasing even more if current HP is low. Additionally, it acquires a certain amount of power of life. Okay, so by using this once, you will gain 3 power of life straight away. This is why some people prefer massive sanguification over blood and iron. All right, when in a non-frenzied state, you will recover HP proportionally to the number of enemies within range and absorb life spheres if any life spheres exist within the effect's range. Okay? This can also be coupled, because it is a dimension skill, with the Secret Garden's unique effect. Whenever you cast a dimension skill, let me just take you over there for a second. Whenever you cast a dimension type skill, there's a 39% chance that you will get 10% of your custom resource, so you get an extra power of life if you're holding the Secret Garden. Alright, so this is why Secret Garden, ta-da, here we go. So that's how massive sanguification plays together with everything. Alright, basically it allows you to acquire power of life. Now, acquiring power of life alone is not enough. This is the main thing, but you will notice that the cooldown on this skill is 20 seconds. This makes it very, very bad for farming. And even with Nimble Fingers, which reduces skill cooldown by 25.6%, MP conversion a further 36.5% at the cost of 15% max MP, which we don't care about, Focus on Dimension and Focus on Non-Attribute here, both reducing skill cooldowns by 6%, so another 12%, we can only get the cooldown, excuse me, down to 5.1 seconds. This is ridiculous, right? Okay. These 4 are very crucial. Here they are again. Nimble Fingers, MP Conversion, Focus on Dimension, Focus on Non-Attribute. These 4, okay, will help bring your cooldown down to 5.1%, 5.1 seconds, all right? And of course, it'll allow you to deal more damage. That being said, you need multi-talented. Why? Whenever you use a dimension type skill cooldowns will be reduced by 15.7% for 5 whole seconds. This is the crucial key. That extra 15% here allows your massive Sanguification to cool down very, very quickly. Because that is an additional 3 seconds taken off. This puts it at a 2.1 second cooldown. That's how brutal this is. Next, you're going to need skill expansion for additional range. And you're going to need amplification control. I just have the baseline version. In future, I'll be able to put an extra rutile slot here. And I'll probably put in maximize range or something like that instead of amplification control, because the shield is useless to us. But with that alone, your massive Sanguification can reach a humongous radius. I would say it goes up to, because the base is 12, I think you can hit up to 30% or more. I think it will be like 30 meters or more, basically, with massive Sanguification. This will happen in Season 1, so make sure to change this over with the new Catalyst system. I'll have a video on that later. All right? And the rest of this stuff is just to give you more hit points so you can keep casting more and stay alive more with this particular build. So HP amplification is here for a lot of additional hit points, and increased HP is here for a lot of additional hit points. All right. Spear and Shield is simply used because this thing has a power modifier over 230%, plus the focus on dimension. Take note, this is a dimension skill. So focus on dimension will increase it by a further 68.2%. So Spear and Shield is more relevant than Iron Will. You don't need Iron Will on this one. Okay? So once you have all this together, your massive Sanguification build is ready. What you need to do is see it in action. So now is the time. We are going to go off and show you how this runs. Okay? So now, I would have loved, I know most of you saw me using it in block kyber mining, which is fantastic, but the problem is that if we were to go there, we might have a bunny, and bunny would completely rip everything apart because bunny is the best farmer, so there is no point in demonstrating that. Instead, we're going to go to the same place where I demonstrated Lepic's build to you guys. We are going to go all the way to White Knight Gulch. We're going to go White Knight Gulch, go to Fortress Outskirts, and I will show you the farming there. I love massive Sanguification. It is hilarious. All right. Now, just to show you guys, when you're in frenzied state, or whether you're not in frenzied state, you can cast your massive Sanguification. When not in frenzied state, it will still cost you health, and you've got nothing to drain health from. All right. But later on, I'll demonstrate how to drain health back when there are enemies around you. In frenzied state, if you were to do this, take note that you still gain 3 power of life even if there's no targets around. And this is why for the bossing build, some people prefer to run massive Sanguification. All right. Because all you got to do is cast it once and you're ready to massacre right off the bat. Okay. But both ways will cost you hit points. So please be very, 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 very careful. Okay. You can basically immediately enter a state where you're going to be able to, what you call it? You'll basically enter a state where you're able to instantly go massacre, and also you will be able to reduce your hit points down for walk a tightrope. But again, this one is up to the individual. All right. So this is without Secret Garden. Take note that my reactor requires Secret Garden. So once you equip Secret Garden, even better. Okay, your damage is going to be way higher. So you're going to keep going with this. Most of the time, you'll be able to kill most targets with a single cast. All right, some of the stronger targets will last. But as you can see, with enough hit points, you can just keep casting. It doesn't really matter. All right, and you can pick up life orbs that you will get along the way, which will be generated by killing these guys, and you can restore your health. Now, what I'm going to show you a little later is that once you drop below a certain amount of health, what you want to do is heal back. But please pay attention to the buffs that are on screen, because you're going to need to see how multi-talented plays into all of this. Okay? Multi-talented will also trigger off of your frenzy, which is a different technique. We will increase all attribute damage, but this is not helpful to you. So make sure that your first skill cast is massive Sanguification. This will cause the cooldown buff to trigger. That way, even if you need to drain health, you can do so, all right? But make sure that you drain health again, get the cooldown buff, and then you can start casting like this. All right, if there's multiple targets, you can just keep casting as much as you like. This is what I love about this. Look at how fast it cools down. All you need to do is literally just wander around, enemy within range, they're dead. They're dead. Crush their hearts and souls. It is so beautiful to farm with this, and I absolutely love it. This is what farming should be. Float through the air with the greatest of ease, 27-meter range, everything dies. You are the vampire lord. Okay? Who are these pathetic creatures that stand before you? Nobody. Because all you do is just suck their health. Now, if you trigger Frenzy first, take note that I have an all-attribute buff. What happens if you cast with an all-attribute buff? Look, the cooldown is so much slower if you do that. So, you must always make sure to cast when, like, if there's no buff for cooldown, cast. Cast. Take note that the duration doesn't refresh while the buff is ongoing. Alright? So be very careful of when you're casting it. If you have to switch frenzied states, alright, to cast again, make sure that you're doing it, like, here there's no buff, right? So I'll trigger the buff on purpose, then swap to, then swap to my frenzied state, and then take advantage of the fast cooldowns to blast them all again. You see how easy that is? Alright, you gotta get used to that pattern. Once you're used to that pattern, you are absolutely able to destroy all your opponents so easily. So easily. Alright. There you go, just like that. Just like that. Boom. Alright. Be sure not to go too ham. You go too ham, you are going to die. So, and if you screw up like that, because I wasn't thinking about the buff, there you go. I wasted time. Alright, so try not to waste time. Usually what I'll do is that if I really need to, I will swap states. Now, swapping states does not trigger it. So you can swap back to normal state, trigger your cooldown buff, swap back to frenzy state, and off you go. Alright? I hope this helps you guys understand how that's used. Oh, look, the elites are here. Let me secret garden these guys. Aw, they're all dead. What a waste of time. Weaklings. Get your hearts and souls crushed by a true Templar. Get crushed. Get shot, nerd. Alright, so you see how this works? It's so easy. It's so easy and it's so much fun. I love it. I know I shouldn't love it this much, but this is so much fun. I love this build. It is hilarious to farm things with this build. It's almost as hilarious as Lepic. Because Lepic needs to draw everybody into his circle. Gley is just like, I'm gonna just crush your soul. Straight up, bruh. You know, she looks at people, she's like, you know what? I don't like your soul right now. Okay, your soul doesn't deserve to be here. Gone. Alright? Oh, you wanna try and fight me? Gone. Instantly, you know? Enemies don't exist to her. Alright? So that is basically Gley's farming build in a nutshell. There you go. You now understand everything you need to know about this particular farming build. That's it. Now, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to register me as your content creator, especially if you like my... Is that guy shooting at me? How dare you? I am talking to my audience. Rude. Okay, where was I? Right. So, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy this Gley build. This is one of my favorites to use. I know she's mostly for bossing, but you gotta admit, farming with this is hilariously fun. Alright? So now, let me let me thank all the amazing channel members and all that. Here we go. Thank you to all these lovely people. These are top tier channel members: Arcane Silver, CG Mayhem, Death Dawning 982, Haza, Jose, alright, Princess Star, Track Hoodie, All at Plus Ultra. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to BVS Fang. Thank you to George Tishon. Thank you to Nisk for being at the OnlyFan level. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the support that you guys have given me. I will do my best to be worthy of it. Okay, so I will keep trying. And last but not least, here are August's top supporters. Almost forgot to knock back my ginger tea. August top supporters: CG Mayhem as our top tipper. Top tipper list includes Luke Greenfield. Top super chatter is RR Odyssey. Thank you so much. Top super chatter list includes Sebastian LeChance, George Tishon, TX Panda King, Sir Tommy Gunn, CU Yuri, Death Dawning 982, I3XO, Atomic John B, Ted Wu, Phil the Mega Pint, and BVS Fang. Thank you guys so much. Top channel membership gifter is TX Panda King with 15 gifted memberships. Actually, that should be George Tishon now. I think it should be George. I think he's broken 15. Sorry about that if there's any confusion. But either way, TX Panda King, CG Mayhem, Haza, Musanede, Truffle Senpai, George Tishon, thank you guys for being amazing channel membership gifters. Are these guys serious? Look at how rude they are. Excuse me, I am doing a video here. Get out of my way, Volgus. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the build.